In 2006, French architect Jeremy Cheval started working on a heritage architectural project in Shanghai. He has added Shanghai's signature Li Long style to his list of renovations. Jeremy currently teaches in Tongjing University and has been giving lectures at various events to both French and Chinese attendees. For Jeremy, Li Long always has a place in the heart of Shanghai's diverse landscape.
I divided from the map of Google Earth, like the city of Shanghai, from A to Z, from 1 to 14. 150 students from whole first year in a Tongjing University were actually investigating an area of 300 meter by 300 meter. In this kind of work, we were investigating more or less like nearly 6 kilometers square of the city. And they were investigating and looking at the Lilong, making drawing, picture, movie, understanding what is this heritage, and actually really has a question about what is the condition of this building. For me, this Lilong is my favorite because still there is the life. This Lilong has been built in the 30s. This is more or less like all the Lilongs for the people working in the factory in the surrounding. It's not like in the center with all the surrounding that has been changing, with all the new tower, all the new inhabitants. This place is still really protected by its location and also by its people living in here. Inside the Lilong, like everyone is living together in a way that actually everyone is protected by each other and everyone helps each other. If you need, for example, to go and buy some water, then of course your neighbor can go and help you. If you break your leg, everyone will know it. And suddenly a group of people is coming all together to manage this big problem that is suddenly happening to only one person. It's like everyone is living together and really like there's like one family living in one block. You have the doors like the entrance on the south, and then on the north you have all the kitchen. This place is really narrow where you have like more or less like 1.5 meter. And it was getting more and more dense, and then you have this space that is getting more and more narrow, like in lots of different worker area. This is mainly the case. And then you have all the pipes that have been like putting outside of the facade, like going to gas, you have electricity, they have water inside. So I like it in a way that it is showing one example of Lilong, which is really narrow with all the light and people living in there with all door open, like no one is afraid. They all leave their door open, no one will enter their house because they know that all the neighbors like take care of each other. And people is not there to make commerce, to make money, they're just living in here. So we are at the moment in Jinan District. In Jinan District, just behind Nanjing Qilu metro exit. In this area, we are like in a Lilong called Zhang neighborhood. Zhang neighborhood is a whole Shikumen type of Lilong. This is like combined with a lot of Shikumen all aligned together, which is meaning like you have a door, an entrance, and a courtyard, which is for one family. And one family was living for 5 people. This is more or less at the end of the 90th century that has been built. And one family with 5 people living all together. All these people originated from Jiangsu, Zhejiang, more or less like rich people that were making commerce in here. So commerciants were coming in here and build a house where to live. And they found a way to actually make a way of living like it used to be more or less inside their hometown. Every shikumen is representing one family. So you have like the shikumen is characterized by the main gate, which is like a door with stone frame or making concrete, where you used to have like the name of the family representing what is the history, who is going to live in here, with some words of poetry on the side. You have the wooden door that is leading to this patio that is going to Wanjiang and to Xiang on the side, which used to be like reception area and the people room. The kitchen, still the same system as in the Yangpu district, not any Lilong. You had it on the back of the house. We enter by the south, as the sun should enter. It's like, I feel in here, if I'm entering this courtyard and already inside and outside the Lilong, I'm still entering to this people's house, but I'm not yet inside the house. It's going slowly and slowly to the heart of these houses. So then you have a lot of intimacy barrier that is being built like inside the Lilong that is really interesting to actually make the relationship between different houses all together in such a small area. So about the Western taste, of course it's coming from some decoration. You have some Baroque, you have like some Art Deco style. All the time they make some decoration that is more like a sculpture that will represent like the Western side. We are inside a block and you have all the north-south system, and then you have the main street, and all the street east-west, which is more or less like the same with Howard's system in England. You have this repetition of house all together the same, and then having all the time an entrance to one direction. This style is like we are actually in Jinan Bieshu, still in Jinan district. This style is like a garden house. Of course, it really relates more to English. Every entrance have got a garden, and you enter to one house that was one unit. The higher density is actually coming from one more story that we're having in the house, and a garden directly to the entrance. And this is inside the house, like more narrow, that is still crossing like a shikumen or different, that is like really large at that time to say, okay, we will make one Lilong made with 500 houses inside. In 2006, I worked about an area that has been dismantled and destroyed. So for me at that time it was like looking like this thing was, without understanding, was for me like unbelievable to do like 7,000 houses in one, instead of one Lilong, and transforming everything suddenly. From that years, always taking picture and understand like what was a Lilong, and actually film a whole place, actually asking the people, trying to actually look a whole place that is being transformed. And they were investigating and looking at the Lilong, making drawing, picture, movie, understanding what is this heritage, and actually really ask questions about what is the condition of this building.
6 years ago, Jeremy lived far away from Shanghai and knew very little about Shanghai's Lilong style. However, through much focus, he now knows more about this specific niche than most Chinese. It's all part of the French love of Chinese architecture.